This episode is supported by Bike Pittsburgh. You heard it here first. Their signature summer event, Open Streets Pittsburgh, is back for 2025. If you've never been before, Open Streets Pittsburgh is this incredible event where the streets in specific neighborhoods get shut down to cars so that bikers and rollerbladers and pedestrians can all take over the road. It's one of my favorite summer activities. I love seeing the way people can build the sense of community connection when the streets become car-free. And you get to experience the city from a whole new perspective, strolling or skipping or even dancing down streets that are normally dominated by cars. This year, Open Streets Pittsburgh is happening on Sunday, June 29th and Sunday, July 27th. You can stay tuned for updates at openstreetspgh.org or follow OpenStreetsPGH on Instagram.
CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today thanks to the Greater Pittsburgh Festival of Books. This year's fest is Saturday, May 31st at the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh in Oakland, where you can immerse yourself in the region's vibrant literary community with a free event that features bookish fun for all ages. Hear from award-winning authors like Rachel Khong, Tori Peters, Sharon Flake, and so many more, plus Grammy Award winner and poet Judy Collins. Visit pittsburghbookfestival.org to register and learn more. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, you better think twice before grabbing your phone on a Pennsylvania road. There's an endearing plot twist to a one-of-a-kind baseball card now on display here in Pittsburgh, and you can make sure that your Uber Eats order comes with the correct ketchup before you spend your money. I'm with CityCast Pittsburgh's Sophia Lowe talking about some of the biggest stories this week. It's Friday, May 23rd. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Hi, Sophia.
Good morning.
We have a few quick election updates. Also some stuff we've learned since the primary happened this week.
Right. So on Wednesday, we talked about how voter turnout in the county was lower than in the 2021 primary.
So 4 years ago.
Yeah. We were also wondering if that meant turnout was also low in the city because we just didn't have that data yet. Good news, city voters did care a little bit more than the average county voter.
I mean, we're not overselling it. Turnout was still very low in the city and as well as the county, just slightly better in the city overall than the county overall. So 25% of all Allegheny County registered voters cast a ballot this week. That is 4 percentage points less than the last time we elected a mayor. But if you just take out the city voters, so the city folks out of the county, 26% of registered voters came out. So that is up slightly from 4 years ago when it was 24%. 2 percentage points better.
Just a little bit. And if you're hearing any meowing in the background, that's my cat Pistachio screaming for more people to vote next time around.
Yeah, wishing she could vote herself.
Yeah, well, some nuance here. Gainey actually got slightly more votes than he did in the 2021 primary. Of course, in that race, there were 3 candidates on the ballot. So Gainey, incumbent at the time, Mayor Peduto, and then Tony Moreno, who this time ran as a Republican. And Gainey did better in some neighborhoods this time around, but he also did a lot worse in others.
Yeah, a few different media outlets have built like handy maps showing Yeah, I know how the voter tallies changed over time and like what the difference was, like kind of the percentage point difference between Corey O'Connor and Gainey. It looks like a lot of this race came down to huge swaths of the East End. So we're talking about the Strip District into Lawrenceville, that whole Penn Avenue corridor into the 14th Ward, which includes Squirrel Hill and Point Breeze and others. Mm-hmm. The 14th Ward matters so much because it is also the biggest ward in the city and like by demographic, just often the most engaged voters we have overall.
Yeah, and according to unofficial totals, O'Connor just got over 7,000 votes there. Gainey got a little under 3,700, which, doesn't seem like a lot considering the whole city is 300,000 people.
But, not all of them are Democrats. Not all of them are registered to vote. Many are children. There are caveats to that 300,000 number.
Right. Always caveats. But, when so few of the registered voters actually do show up, this is what you get. And about, 3,300 people can make that huge difference.
Yeah. Literally choose our mayor based on such a small number of folks. But in one race, just one vote is making the difference. We also talked a little bit about this on Wednesday. The Pittsburgh school board race had just one contest that was too close to call in District 9.
Really surprising for me.
It's such a tiny number. In District 9, challenger Allie Potonik was trying to unseat incumbent Gene Walker. We actually got this wrong on Wednesday. A news story that we were reading got them inverted, so we repeated the error. Anyway, Potonik is up by just one vote. And Walker is the school board president right now. So really high stakes on this one. But in terms of what's going to happen next, the one vote is sort of like a magic number because there are still provisional ballots to count. They're going to probably recheck everything anyway. So really the answer is that there's an unknown number between the two of them right now. And the county's still trying to figure it out.
And we updated Wednesday's episode just to make sure we got those names right. From what we know, Allie Potonik has that one extra vote.
Mm-hmm.
And one more election update, the county council seat voters did not see on their ballots, District 13. This got filled after the election. The sitting member resigned in April because he was moving. He was a Democrat, so that means the Democratic Party gets to choose an interim person to fill it. And they have. Jordan Botta will take over until the election in November. But, it might not be Botta. He has not said whether he's going to run for that election or not. Another Democrat could.
The party gets to weigh in on that, too.
Right. But we will almost definitely be seeing a Republican on that ballot. So stay tuned. We'll be doing this stuff again come November.
Yes, always more election news. We're going to move on to something that is affecting all Pennsylvanians now. You aren't allowed to be on your phone while you're in the car anymore.
Well, we already all know it's a bad idea to be on your phone while driving. But, if you sometimes play fast and loose with that rule, it is really time to put down the phone now because there's a new distracted driving law that goes into effect in 2 weeks. So as of Thursday, June 5th, Pennsylvania police can pull you over if they see you on the phone, they see you with a device in your hand. So you can't be using Siri, no emailing, no playing games, no recording, no social. Before, if you were stopped at a traffic light, you wouldn't get in trouble if it was in your hand, but now you will. So important distinction. I can't even text someone if I'll be late.
I mean, you can, Sophia, because you are always the passenger.
That's fair. I can. If you're in the driver's seat, you cannot.
But from what I can tell, this distracted driving law is applicable only to state-maintained roads. The law says highways, but in terms of legality, that literally means anything that the state owns. But just don't do it anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I very much don't know which road I'm driving down is
That's
owned
the
by
other
who.
thing. If you're in Pittsburgh, who owns your road is constantly changing as you're making your way across the city. It might be the county, it might be the city, it might be the state. This is also applicable to bridges owned by the state, too. That's a very important note.
I would hope people are not on their phones on bridges because, half of them are rickety anyway. That seems like a bad idea.
I mean, but, how often are you stopped in traffic on a bridge and, people get bored? I just want to say I understand it, but it is also illegal now.
Well, texting and driving is already against the law everywhere in the state. You cannot text and drive if your vehicle's in motion. Don't do it.
I honestly did not know that was true until we were reading up about this story. I try not to do it ever, but I did not know that it was already illegal. So I have learned something this week.
That's good. You can use Bluetooth though. And, if your car has those dashboard screens, you're allowed to, press those buttons, make a call that way if you need to. One exception to having your phone in your hand though is if you are in an emergency situation, you're allowed to call 911.
Although I imagine if a police officer pulls you over in that kind of situation, they're going to want proof. They're going to want to see that you were on the phone with a dispatcher in this moment.
Yeah, someone else next to you clearly in distress, not just, you sitting there smiling.
honestly. But there are penalties, of course, to this, and they're sort of rolling them in slowly. The first year, you'll get a written warning if they find you in violation. So we have a whole calendar year till June 5th, 2026 to not screw this up. Again, that's a first-time offense. But starting next year, you're going to get a $50 fine, plus you might need to pay court fees. A police lieutenant from the other side of the state said that with those fees, it'll probably look more like $200 or so. So not $200 any of us want to pay.
Of course not. Well, on to trivia now. This week we have a sports-related question, so I don't think I'm going to do
You're going to do
well.
great. You're going to do great. It's actually more, I would argue, a Pittsburgh question, but it has a sports component. Anyway, the Pirates are going to honor Mac Miller this summer by giving out commemorative bobbleheads. I am so dubious of honoring like a musician born in Pittsburgh with like a bobblehead. But anyway, if you are not familiar, Mac Miller was a rapper and producer born in Point Breeze. He graduated from Alderdice. A lot of his early stuff referenced the city, like Party on Fifth, Blue Slide Park. But he died in 2018 from an accidental overdose. He wrote a lot about addiction. This was a relapse. He was only 26. It just sucks. But the bobbleheads are going to honor some of his sports fandom. He grew up loving Pittsburgh sports, so his bobble is in a Pirates jersey, but it also features Mac Miller flashing his knuckle tattoos. So, Sophia, what do you think was the message on those knuckle tats?
I know he had a lot of tattoos. I do not know the meaning behind all of them. I'm gonna guess that it's like Pirates themed because the Pirates want to like showcase this. I don't know if this is a message, but I imagine he's got, teeny tiny pierogies for the pierogi race on his knuckles.
He's got every iteration of the pierogi race contestants on his knuckles. We will give our listeners some choices. Is it some combination of Pirates logos? Is it Blue Slide, Most Dope, or his birth date in Roman numerals? We'll have the answer after the break. Hey Pittsburgh! Today's show is sponsored by Pittsburgh Pride. It is back, it is bigger, it is bolder, it is gayer than ever before. Get ready for a full week of love, liberation, and celebration across the city with Pittsburgh Pride 2025. It all kicks off Sunday, May 25th with the Bigger, Gayer Picnic. Think sunshine, chosen family, and all the queer joy you can pack into one Pittsburgh park. Then on Friday, May 30th, put on your formal or your fiercest. It's the Pittsburgh Pride Prom, followed by the legendary Emerald City Kiki Ball. Yes, the ballroom scene is turning out. Saturday, May 31st, brings the Pittsburgh Pride Festival Day 1 with a free concert featuring Vienna Vienna and American Idol alum David Archuleta, lighting up the night at 7 p.m. And finally, if you can handle it, Sunday, June 1st, come march with your community in the Pittsburgh Pride Parade. Then stick around for the festival Day 2, closing everything out with another free concert starring Jay Howell and the iconic Lil Mo. For all the events, all of the info, head over to PittsburghPride.com to plan your perfect Pittsburgh Pride weekend. That's PittsburghPride.com. Come as you are, show up proud, and we will see you there. Today's show is sponsored by the Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival, taking over the 15th Street Plaza in the Strip, June 5th through 8th. Arts Fest has changed a lot over the last few years, but it remains free and totally focused on music and art and handcrafts and the very real and wonderful humans who share their talent with the city. You can plan for free music concerts with headliners like Cautious Clay, Souls of Mischief, Tierra Kennedy, and more. Plus, there's always a bunch of local acts from Pittsburgh, so it's a great opportunity to find an artist that you can see again and again here in the city. The concerts are from noon to 9, and in between those sets, check out the Artist Market, where you can find ceramics and jewelry. So many goodies from folks far and wide. There are also ways to get involved. Garba 360 is doing an interactive dance lesson. Ibiji Drum Ensemble's doing a drum circle. The Pittsburgh Cultural Trust finds us so many great folks, and Arts Fest is always a blast. Find the full list of events and learn more at trustarts.org/TRAF. So, Sophia, it was not, in fact, Pirates logos. No pierogi on his knuckles, unfortunately. The answer was most dope. So,
cool.
Mac Miller had 42 tattoos, including most dope on his knuckles. When he was alive, he said he considered the term to be a description of his identity. And it's also the title of a book now that explores his life. So, if you are interested in a Mac Miller bobblehead, you can look for those on July 19th.
Meanwhile, you will see me at free t-shirt night.
Every free t-shirt night. You're like a Hawaiian shirt person though, right? Or is it any free t-shirt?
Free shirt. Honestly, I haven't looked at the merch this year yet, so we'll see if there's anything else that I might try to go for.
I've only looked for the kids' merch, so I have a date picked out in my head, but I need to get my tickets. I'm actually behind schedule on that.
Oh, no.
While we're on the topic, we have a few local sports ball updates. So some of these are big. Some will literally fit in the palm of your hand, like the bobbleheads. First up, Dick's Sporting Goods. So that's like the big national sports retailer headquartered here in Pittsburgh. They announced that they are buying Foot Locker. Sophia, I'm going to be honest. I have not thought of a Foot Locker in actual decades.
I haven't seen one in forever.
I fully forgot they existed. I feel like they're in that same mental category as like Sbarro for me, like being in shopping malls, you know?
Mm-hmm, same here. And I have not been in a mall in also forever. Was this like some bankruptcy situation? I would imagine Foot Locker is cheap just because it seems to be gone from our collective memories.
No, actually not bankruptcy.
Oh.
Although there was, I guess, a CEO hired to Foot Locker not too long ago to try to like bump them up, like, you know, get the stock price up and do other things. And I guess it was working. It just wasn't working as well as some folks would like, especially because of like tariffs and stuff like that. So the deal went through at $2.4 billion.
Whoa, that is definitely more than I would have guessed.
Yeah, me too. I did not know Foot Locker was worth that, but they have a ton of locations, I guess. So they're going to keep both brands for now. Dick's is going to stay Dick's. Foot Locker is going to stay Foot Locker. The Dick's CEO said some of this was about market share. So specifically like in sneaker culture, there's whole things about who can sell like Nike products, for example, at wholesale prices. And I guess Nike only has like a few wholesale partners, and now Dick's is going to represent 2/3 of them worldwide.
Okay, win for them.
Yeah. In a CNBC article, actually, they said that people who buy from Dick's tend to be affluent, suburban, older. I thought that was really funny, like for a company headquartered in Pittsburgh. But Foot Locker people tend to live in urban areas. They're younger and they are much more likely to be lower and middle income, which means that they may spend a little more freely on things like sneakers, but it also means that they are going to be much more subject to like economic downturns, for example. So there were some critics of this deal being like, don't know if this was the moment to make this deal. I mean, like I said, I think of Foot Locker as being sort of a shopping mall thing. But I don't know, maybe that's not true for everybody.
How much do sneakers get tariffs? I did buy an extra pair at Costco, but that's because they were purely on sale.
Have you already entered the I buy my clothes at Costco portion of your life?
I love buying everything at Costco. I've seen some people with like a Costco denim jacket, and I don't even know if it's from Costco or they made it, but every time I go, I look for it.
I feel like you're like entering, like, because, you know, there's also people that like chase like Aldi swag, for example.
That's too hard. I don't like navigating Aldi swag. That confuses me. I don't know how to figure out the best Aldi finds.
I couldn't find anything that actually like talked directly about like our sneakers getting tariffed, but I do think they get lumped into that larger conversation about any good that is traveling across borders. So certainly they might be subject to it. And, you know, this kind of speaks to what Dick's has been doing here locally, too, because they've been changing up their model to some extent. Like they've got these House of Sport stores that they're piloting, and they've built like gaming into them. I don't know if you've seen one of these. They've got one in Ross Park Mall, but they have like batting cages, for example. So you can buy or test a bat and use it right away.
Huh. Again, I also cannot remember the last time I was in a Dick's, so...
I have spent more time in Dick's. They sometimes have good sales. But the Foot Locker thing, I guess that's going to bring them into like an international sphere because they have 2,400 stores in 20 countries. So this is going to take like, I guess, the larger Dick's experience like to other countries. But like, again, it's going to stay a Foot Locker. So I don't know. I don't know how much there's going to be like a Pittsburgh influence other places.
Batting cages in every country. But speaking of Dick's investments, did I see that Dick spent $1 million on like one single baseball card the other day?
Oh, Sophia, you sure did. $1.11 million for one single baseball card. Do you want to take a guess who it is?
No.
Well, it's for a pirate. It's for a current pirate. I know you don't pay attention, but it's Paul Skeens. So
okay,
that's
the pitcher. I do know him. We've talked about him before.
The phenom pitcher that we have talked about on the show before. Not that his talents have been enough to do anything for us right now. Like, we're currently being talked about as not only a terrible team in baseball right now, but maybe the worst team ever in all of Pittsburgh sports history, which I find fascinating.
But at least this card from one of our players sold for this much money.
I mean, I think it's all speculative, right? Like, they think he's going to end up being phenomenal, and I genuinely hope for the dude that he does. But yeah, the offers for this baseball card were truly unhinged. So Topps, that's like a card maker company, they issued the card. It's a one-of-a-kind single printing, and then people start offering stuff for it because, like, somewhere in the world, somebody's going to open this card. Nobody knows who it's going to be. The Pirates wanted it.
So no one knew that it was Skeens?
It's just in a box somewhere or a packet. Like, once they issue a card, it just exists somewhere in the world, like Willy Wonka golden ticket style.
So like it could be sold anywhere?
Anywhere.
No one knows what it is?
No one knows. So like,
do they announce it to people so like people go out and buy more stuff?
They announce that they're issuing the card, but they don't say like where it's going to be, obviously, because they want people to buy stuff everywhere. So while this is happening, like, Topps has made the announcement, but nobody knows who has it yet or if anyone has pulled it yet. People start making offers, including the Pirates. Like, as a team, they clearly have no appetite for spending cash on things. So I think this offer is really funny. They offered 30 years worth of season tickets behind home plate, which is great if maybe if you live in the city of Pittsburgh, but seems sort of useless if you live anywhere else in the world.
I guess you could sell those too.
Maybe, but then you like have to like deal with all of that. It's like a new job at that point if you're selling tickets that nobody wants because nobody wants to come to our baseball games. You also got to do batting practice with the team, and there was a
not a sell for me. I would embarrass myself.
There was a spring training experience that included a meet and greet with Paul Skeens himself. So
that interests me. I get him to sign more cards, sell those again.
Yeah, right. So like it was a whole thing. I guess Skeens' social media famous girlfriend, Livy Dunn, also upped that ante. So she said that whoever got the card and returned it to the team could sit with her at a Pirates game in her suite, which feels like such popular girl energy. Like, I guess you can sit with me.
Man, so who ends up getting this card?
An 11-year-old, Sophia, an 11-year-old.
Oh, good for them.
Card
I love
collector.
That.
In California, pulls this card. I guess he knew it was coming because this is like a thing he cares about. And he got his parents to buy him this like big collector set, and it happens to be in there. He declined the Pirates and Livy Dunn's offers.
Do we know why? Does he hate the Pirates? Or was it just because he's in California?
Neither, actually. He decided to auction it off for charity. So he finds this during the wildfire stuff. And he decides to auction it for fire relief efforts.
Oh, that's really sweet.
So over $1 million.
I want the best for this kid.
$1 million raised because of an 11-year-old being like that nice to give like all the money to somebody else. Like I'm blown away by it. The bidding goes wild. The winner is ultimately anonymous, but only for a few hours because as soon as the sale was final, Dick's like raises their hand and is like, "We are the winners, and the card will be coming home to Pittsburgh." So it is now on display at that House of Sports store in Ross Park Mall.
Okay, so I guess I do go to Ross Park for Lego sometimes, so I guess I'll have to fight baseball fans now.
I mean, it's probably like, I haven't seen it. I haven't gone to go look for it, but I imagine it's just like on a wall somewhere in Dick's. I don't know. Maybe it's got its whole display. Like, what if it's like one of those like altars, you know? Like maybe they've got a candle lit by it. I hope it's very extra.
Me too. I think if you're spending that much money on that one single card, you better, make the whole surrounding area very decorative.
Or like the Mona Lisa, big glass enclosure, like must stay back. Like I just love it. A few more Buccos highlights to take us into the weekend. So of course there's those bobbleheads that are coming out on July 19th. The team also ousted their manager, Derek Shelton, a couple of weeks ago and elevated the bench coach, Don Kelly. I'll be honest, none of these names mean a ton to me except that people complain about them a lot. But there's also new news about the fella that fell off the Clemente wall.
Right. This one I've seen on Reddit. People from like out of state have asked me about this because, this guy fell from a very high wall.
21 feet. Because that's why they call it the Clemente wall, because it's 21 for his number 21.
Well, this guy's talking to reporters now. He told the Trib that he had a broken everything, like a broken neck, broken clavicle, broken back, and more. Like, this just sounds awful. But he's come a long way. He was initially on a breathing machine and couldn't walk. Now he's taken a few steps and is in physical therapy. So it looks like he's doing a lot better.
It does. I can't believe he was willing to take calls from reporters. Like, what a good sport. Good grief. Also, one quick football thing. So next season's Steelers schedule is out, and it's really hard. Again, I've been lamenting it with friends of mine. Like, we had a nice run sort of in the middle of the season last year, but then we just got crushed over and over and over again by really difficult opponents. And now it looks like that's probably going to happen again. I mean, I don't even know if we'll get to the good stretch part. We'll see. People are saying that us not having a quarterback in place already, or maybe ending up with Aaron Rodgers, because that's still up in the air, played a part in us getting this weird schedule. But some good news, depending on how you feel about this, we will be playing one international game.
I did see that.
Over in Dublin. I think it's really cool because the Steelers and the Ireland as a nation have had a really close relationship for a long time.
Yeah, I did not know about that Ireland thing, but I do know Steelers bars are just everywhere.
I imagine that they probably have them there. I mean, I guess just generally the NFL's been trying to drum up international interest, so these games are part of that. But the team's former owner, so the late Dan Rooney, he was the ambassador to Ireland during Obama's first term, the appointed person under Clinton as Secretary of State. He also founded an Irish charity, so there's a lot of Irish synergy with the Steelers.
Okay. I'm learning a lot about sports right now.
The Rooney family does still own the Steelers, but now it's Dan's son, Art Rooney II.
Well, even if the next Steelers season is a bust, we will still have the draft here. There's a countdown clock that went up on the North Shore this month. It ticks down to the 2026 NFL draft next April. I also think this clock is ridiculous.
I hate it.
I hope someone gets some joy out of this.
My favorite thing about that clock is that by the time it gets down to 0, it means no one will talk to me about the NFL draft again forever.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
All right, we're going to talk through some fun stuff to look forward to.
Yes. First, new partnership between Heinz and Uber Eats. It's called Heinz Verified, and according to the KHC Custom Condiment Survey from 2024...
That sounds fake.
Yeah, well, that's what the press release said. This survey determined that 84% of people would like a restaurant more if it served Heinz.
I mean, I still think it sounds fake, but I also might be that person. I feel better when I know that the ketchup doesn't suck, you know?
Oh, yeah, I love Heinz, but I've never walked into a restaurant thinking that hard about my condiments, unless I'm there specifically for fries.
I feel for ranch, though. For ranch, I need this for ranch, because restaurant ranch, I want to know that you make
Hidden
it in-house.
Valley verified?
If actually, yes, bring me Hidden Valley verified, because then I'll know I don't want to go there. I'm so fussy about my ranch and my ketchup.
Okay, well, Heinz Verified shows you restaurants that serve Heinz. So if you're fussy about Heinz, this is great for you. So there's a map with pins on this on Heinz's website. It's not limited to Pittsburgh. This map shows restaurants countrywide all across the U.S., but the Uber Eats app is going to show Heinz Verified restaurants in 6 cities: Pittsburgh, duh.
Obviously.
Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Los Angeles, and Miami. And there's a little promotion that goes with this whole thing. I don't know how long this is, but for a limited time, if you're, scrolling through Uber Eats and you order $30 or more at a Heinz verified restaurant, you get $5 off your order.
I have so many follow-up questions, like why Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Los Angeles, and Miami? Like, I assume that Heinz just does well there, like their market share maybe. I'm so curious.
I don't know. I'm surprised about Chicago.
They didn't disclose that in the survey.
I'm surprised they picked Chicago because, like, there's such a huge anti-ketchup culture. I mean, it's on hot dogs, but still, like, that one was the only one I really was like, oh, this is shocking because, like, ketchup feels like a pretty go-to condiment. Yeah. But this collab also includes a YouTube and streaming series. It's called Day Trippin'. No G. So comedian Stephen He is going to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Chicago. He's going to go eat some of their classic dishes. I think kind of go to some restaurants and learn, what's the secret sauce behind the dishes.
I feel like I've heard of him. Does he have some like Pittsburgh connection or something?
You may have heard him because he's kind of famous on TikTok, but no, he does not have a Pittsburgh connection. In the trailer, he in fact says he's never been to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, or Chicago.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure he's great, but like, why?
I feel like it's like kind of the just like new kid energy. Like, I'm coming here to try your food for the first time. That's sort of the vibe I got from the trailer.
I mean, you've clearly done your homework on this. Are there any Heinz verified spots that you're going to cash in your coupon for?
Ooh, I don't know. I just don't really order from Uber Eats anymore because
Will this get you to order from Uber Eats?
No, I'm going to ask my partner to pick up my food for me for the sweet delivery fee of $0.
Fair enough. Well, earlier this week, the South Side was taken over by horses because of chocolate.
Still on the food train here.
The horse food train. The movie Hershey is filming there. So this is about Milton and Kitty Hershey of the Hershey candy fame. So it's a biopic that focuses on their love story and how the whole Hershey company came together.
Yeah, it stars Finn Wittock, I hope I'm saying his name right, as Milton. I don't know who he is, but
I am Googling.
But I do know Kitty, Alexandra Daddario of White Lotus fame, but more importantly to me, the Percy Jackson movies. They flopped, but that's how I got introduced to her.
I don't think I've seen a single thing this gentleman has been in. Oh, wait, nope, here's one movie. I don't know. Anyway, I hope he does good.
Well, you could see him in the Hershey movie. Bedford Square area in Southside got closed down for this. They took it back to the 1800s. There was dirt thrown over, the roads, concrete, and, the horses.
I love this so much. I feel like Bedford Square really gets I don't know how you feel about picked on or picked a lot for this sort of thing. I used to work in that neighborhood, and I feel like that places would come in every couple of years and dress up that corner. A League of Their Own definitely did it for one. And usually there was no dirt, I don't think, for that one, but they put up big facades across the buildings. So the way the buildings are built, there in front of the market house, all stayed the same. But for a few of the buildings, they put up new awnings and things like that, and different names of restaurants or other stuff to make it look like it wasn't a ton of neon for the cigar place, for example. They dressed it up differently.
Well, Hershey is filming now through June 27th, so maybe you'll catch another scene or two, but not all the filming is happening in Pittsburgh. We did talk to our coworker, Owen, about this. He is our sales rep, so if you want to advertise with CityCast Pittsburgh, he is your person.
Do it.
He got, some firsthand look at this Hershey filming because he lives in the South Side.
So there was basically dirt everywhere when you crossed over Carson Street onto 10th. They put dirt and, kind of hay and just things down all across the road there to kind of make it feel like an old town vibe. They redid some of the signage around there. And then in Armstrong Park, which is, kind of basketball courts, grass fields, open air, that kind of thing. Right on Sarah Street. My wife took the dog out in the morning and the entire thing had been turned into the temporary horse stable. So they had, it looked like at least 10 horses. I don't know the exact number, just kind of tied to the fence there. They were feeding them. They were doing everything. And then they ended up, they were walking them across East Carson Street and closing traffic when they needed to bring him in for the scene.
Poor Tucker. I'm just imagining like all the smells, all the interesting smells that would be in his neighborhood that morning.
I love Tucker. What a good puppy. And one thing that Owen also said that I thought was interesting was this filming was also happening like right in front of his polling place. So he was like walking along on Monday thinking like, oh, what's going to happen on Tuesday on election day? They cleaned it all up super fast. Movie magic.
I mean, it's probably not great because it means that all those like the hundreds of people that they like have for their crew like had to like work an enormous amount probably to get all that cleaned up, but they really do like come and go very fast. They're so efficient.
I hope they got overtime, but if you're interested in being involved, I actually saw on the Pittsburgh Film Office's website that the Hershey movie is still looking for extras. If you're into it, we'll have a link in the show notes so you can apply. One thing you'll need to know are your wardrobe measurements. It's $225 for like a 12-hour day. Days are like 12 to 14 hours, but you get overtime. And, like I said before, not all filming's happening in the city, so you might need to travel a bit. You need your own transportation, so that means I'm out.
I think we can like sign you up for an extra for something that's more convenient. I'm into it.
And last up, we have some free fun at our county and city parks. We'll start at the county level and with the summer concert series they put on.
Yeah, so there are different musical groups. Some of them are from out of town, some are local, like the Pittsburgh Opera is going to perform, for example. But for all of these, there's usually like a food truck. Hop Farm Brewing Company and Black Dog Wine Company will be at all the concerts. There's just like a ton of performances. We'll put a link in our show notes to the full list so you can check them out.
Yeah, and for the summer concert series, it happens on Friday and Sunday nights. So Friday concerts are at the South Park Amphitheater. They start at 7:30 p.m. It starts pretty soon, May 30th, and runs through the end of August. Sunday concerts, same time, 7:30, but those are at Heartwood Acres. They start on June 1st, so same weekend, and goes through August.
And another county thing to look forward to, just for funsies, is the Heartwood Acres Wine Fest. Don't sleep on it. So much fun. The county also does movie nights, too, so you can bring blankets and chairs and watch a movie outdoors. There's a bunch of locations for this. They do include South Park and Heartwood Acres again. Plus, they do Boyce Park, North Park, and more. Those are all family-friendly, like all PG titles. They're doing Sonic 3, Moana 2, and the Lion King live-action version. Are they doing any of these that are not, like, pure remakes?
I think most of them are sequels. I also saw like Kung Fu Panda. I think I want to say 4. I did not know we were up to Kung Fu Panda 4.
I didn't either. All of these start at 7, but the movie actually comes on at dusk. The county says that means that the movie starts, at least for now, are going to be around like 8:50, 9:15, kind of a late start for kid events.
Yeah, but also it's just not dark until then, so
True.
What can you do? The city of Pittsburgh is also doing an outdoor movie series, so these will be in city parks. That includes Shenley Park, Highland Park, lots more, and a couple new parks got added this year. This includes Liberty Green and Troy Hill Citizens Park. So again, a lot of family, kid-friendly movies. Some are the same movies at the county, so maybe there's like a city park that's closer to you. But it's also going to include movies like Fences, based on the August Wilson play, and then Dune 2. So also some stuff for like teenagers, adults.
Yeah.
Movies start around sunset, and we'll also have this link in the show notes too, so you can check out all these schedules.
Do you have your eye on any one movie in particular, Sophia?
Sonic 3, actually. I've been like...
Have you seen Sonic 1 and 2?
I've seen Sonic 1. I think I may have seen parts of Sonic 2. I just got really fixated on the series when they released the first trailer, and Sonic was really, really ugly, so they had to like completely reanimate Sonic. I hope those animators got a lot of overtime, but I like think about like the really creepy Sonic a lot.
Sophia is just pro overtime for the whole week. Overtime for everybody. Overtime for you and you and you.
If you're gonna work, you deserve overtime.
Heard.
And, if movies, concerts are not up your alley, but you're looking for more summer fun, definitely check out our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. We have tons of events happening in Pittsburgh every single day there.
That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. Our music is by Benji, All the Kimonos, Bagel, Bonkers Beat Club, Chanterelle, with additional music from epidemicsound.com. Mallory Falk is our executive producer. Sophia Lowe and Elizabeth Kama produced the show this week. Francesca DeBecco writes our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. Kevin Gavin is our trivia master, and I am your host, Megan Harris. In observance of Memorial Day, we are going to be back on Tuesday with more news from around the city. We hope you all have a great long weekend.
She went to the vet yesterday, so I don't know if she's just like acting up for more treats. I said vet and she screamed.